right, in Suzuki Book 1, Lightly Row is song number 2, but it's also song number 5. So we have so many things that we can learn with Lightly Row, and we've already talked about learning how to make repeated notes legato. We've talked about learning this with copycat melodies and figuring out how to learn the melody by ear. And now the next layer that we're going to add with Lightly Row is playing it with an accompaniment pattern. But this is something that you're going to do in like 4 or 5 months. So today I'm going to teach you about it. And I'm going to teach you something you can practice with your left hand. And then we're going to come back to this in a long time. After you learn Mary Had a Little Lamb, then we'll come back and put these hands together. But I want you to know about it, and when you're doing your daily listening, I want you to listen for it every day and start to get used to the idea that your left hand will be playing this pattern. So, Lightly Row with the left hand in song number 5, it goes like this. It's a pattern that we call Alberti, and it kind of sounds like you're rocking back and forth. So those are all the notes for the left hand Alberti accompaniment for the Lightly Row song, which is song number 5 in the Suzuki Book. But we'll actually really kind of come in to your learning when you're about at song number 9. Then you'll come back to song number 5 and learn this left hand with the right hand together. So right now, you can just start with this preparatory left hand study. And I have one thing I want you to work on, and that is telling your thumb, shh, to be quiet. So the notes are like this. We go C, G, E, G. It's a 4-note pattern, and you do the bottom note and then the top note. So you rock from the bottom note to the top note, and then you rock to the middle note and back up to the top. So we keep coming back to the top every other time, but we switch between going to the bottom and the middle. So listen again to this pattern. Bottom, middle, bottom, middle. So you do the bottom note, the middle note, the bottom note, the middle note. Every other time you're playing the top note. Bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top. Rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth. So right now, I'm playing this pattern on C, E, and G. But you can play this pattern on lots of different notes. So now I'm going to move. Can you figure out what notes I'm playing now? I'm still doing the same pattern. Bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top. But now I'm playing different notes. What are they? This is B, G, D, G, B, G, D, G. So you have these 2 Alberti patterns. This one and this one. Now I want you to practice going between these 2. Play each pattern twice and then switch. That is the preparatory left hand study for the Alberti pattern in the left hand. Okay, so that's the Alberti pattern. Now, remember how I said your thumb needs to be quiet? Shh, 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 shh. The thing is, we keep coming back to the thumb. Every other note is the thumb. And sometimes our thumbs get too loud and it sounds really funny. So listen. Do you like the way that sounds? Your thumb is different than the rest of your fingers, and it's easy to whack it. So you need to tell your thumb, shh, 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 shh. Be quiet, thumb. Shh, shh, shh. Quiet thumb. Now, can you rotate your hand just a little bit to lean towards your pinky? And just lift this part of your thumb, this big circular soft area of your thumb, lift that up a little bit into the air. So your hand, instead of being like this, it's like a little bit more like that. So you're going to be a little bit higher up on your thumb. And you're going to press a little bit softer with your thumb than the rest of your fingers. So can you try that? Lean into the bottom and the middle and make the thumb quiet. Now can you switch to the other pattern where you have G and D, and still lift up this part of your hand so that your thumb is a little bit higher up, so it's not putting any weight into it. Is my thumb quiet? I'm trying to make my thumb quiet. Sometimes making your other fingers louder is easier than making your thumb quiet. You can do it that way too. Is my thumb too loud? Oh, that's a loud thumb. Do you remember with Lightly Row how we did the elevator? Where you didn't come off the key and you went gently up and down with your repeated notes? That's going to help your thumb to be quiet too. Keep your thumb nice and low. So you can just practice this over and over again. You can do a pattern or you can switch whenever you want, really. Just get used to switching from the C and E to the B and D, and get used to making your thumb so quiet. So quiet. Quiet thumbs. So that's what you have to learn, and you've got 3 or 4 months to practice this preparatory study over and over again with your left hand to get you ready to play it while you're playing Lightly Row with your right hand. I'm going to play it one more time now that you've learned all of these things about the Alberti pattern. Let me show you my little Alberti. This is my little rocking horse. His name is Alberti. I've got a whole story about him I'll tell you later. Anyway, so I will play it one more time for you so that you can hear. Now that you've really learned a lot about Alberti, I want you to hear Lightly Row with the Alberti pattern in the left hand. Now I'm going to really try to make my thumb as quiet as I can, and I want you to listen and see if I did it very well. So you listen to those thumbs and see if my thumbs are quiet, okay? I am so excited that you will get to learn that someday. So practice your preparatory left hand study and work on quiet thumbs. Shh, learn your Alberti pattern. And you're going to be playing this pattern for so many songs in the Suzuki Book, and songs by Mozart, songs by Haydn, songs by Clementi and Schubert. So many classical music composers use this pattern. Beethoven even uses it. So if you learn this Alberti pattern, you will be learning music by some of the world's greatest composers once you know how to play this pattern. Pretty exciting. Okay, that's all for today. So happy practicing, and I'll see you next time.